Hello everyone, photographer Andredesignz here with a new retouch video. And today we'll be retouching this image that was taken with the Nikon D3400. Let me pull up the settings very quickly. So I was shooting at 1.8 and my shutter speed was 320. The ISO is at 100. Alright, so this is a really good image. It's not really a 100% sharp, but it's still a good image. And most of my images I upload to Instagram anyway, so yeah. I will be editing using the Retouching Academy's panel, and yeah, let's get right to it. Alright, so the first thing you have to do, guys, is to go over to the mixer brush. Mixer brush is normally nested on the brush, so once you hold on it, you should see mixer brush in the list, but I took my mixer brush out. Alright, so with the mixer brush, once you select the mixer brush and you see where there's a color right here, you need to clear it. To clear it, all you have to do is to just unclick this and ensure that this brush is clicked. For the wetness, keep it at 2%, everything remains the same, and ensure that sample all layers is not selected. Alright, so let's get right to it. So I'm on the mixer brush right now, and the first thing I'm going to do is to go over to the frequency separation 16-bit. Alright, so I'm going to click on that right now. And I'm using 16-bit because this is a raw image. My radius is going to be at 6.4. And you have to ensure that you are, you know what, let me go to image, go to mode, and ensure I'm on the 16-bit channel. Alright, so this gives you more information in your image. So ensure that you're always using the 16-bit option. If you're editing a JPEG, well, 8-bit is what you should select, 8 bits. Alright, and then you select the 8-bit frequency separation action. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go down to the action here for the low frequency separation layer. Just going to zoom up my image a little bit. Well, not a little bit, I'm going to zoom it way in, and then I'm going to start mixing. Alright, so when you're mixing, just ensure that you mix in one particular area at a time. So I'm mixing in the center of our forehead and then the side right here. So in the center it has a highlight, so you want to just do the highlight first and then come over to the shadow and do the shadow. When you're doing the mixing, what normally happens is that if the model has a lot of pimples, what will happen, it will just soften the pimples, it will just flatten everything, and then you could just use your tool, whatever tool you use to remove blemishes. You can actually use that to remove the blemishes right after you're through mixing. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, I'm mixing the side of her nose, and then we're doing the nose bridge. Then I'm coming under the eye. I'm just mixing. So when you're mixing, you can't just mix all over the place, right? You have to follow a certain pattern, because you know under the eye is going to be highlighted, so you're just going to do under the eye. And then you come down a little bit more on the cheek, because you know it's going to have what they call it, contour. So you're just going to do that. So basically you're going to follow what the makeup artist did. Alright, I'm going to put a link in the description for the makeup artist as well, so you can check out her work. So because we have a lot of pimples right here, what we're doing is just soften it right now. And then we're going to come down here. It's always good to watch what your makeup artist is doing, so you will have an idea as to how you would actually edit your images, because you want to follow the same steps when you're applying the mixer brush. Alright, so if you notice what just happened right here, the skin, let me show you. So before, if you realize that there's a rising right here, and once you apply the mixer brush, it flattens it. Alright, so look at that. Good. And then you could just flatten a different direction. Good. I'm going to come down to the model's chin a little bit. And you don't want to rush when you're making your edits, guys. Please, you have to just take your time. If you see me rushing, it's because I don't want to have a long video. I want to keep my video shorter than 30 minutes. I don't want my video to be so long. I don't want my videos to be that long at all, because I don't want to bore you guys. Alright, so let's look at the before and after for everything so far. So before and after. See how amazing this mixer brush is. What I might do, I think I'm going to put the image in the description for you guys to download and make edits to it. But guys, remember, the images are just for practicing, so you don't want to upload these images on your social media. If you'd like to share what you've done, you can just edit the image, save it to your phone, and then send it to my DM on Instagram. And my my Instagram name is Andredesignz. You can check in the description as well, or you'll see it on the screen right here. So you can just send it to me so I can, give you my take on what you've done. Alright, but please don't upload it to your social media. I'm just giving you these images for practice. Alright, good. So that's it for the face so far, before and after. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, before I go on to the arm, I'm just going to come to the high frequency layer here, and then I'm going to work on I'm going to remove the pimples. Alright, so the tool that we're going to use to remove the pimples today is the clone stamp. Over here on the panel, we do not have a clone stamp tool. Don't see anything right here for clone stamp. So I'm just going to go over here to the clone stamp right here. And then my flow is going to be at 100%. And the current layer is what I'll be working on. And I'm using a soft brush. Let me see the brush I'm using here. Yes, I'm using a soft brush. You can also come right here for the soft brush. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom up the image a little bit more, and then I'm going to hold on Alt. I'm going to select an area that is clean, so like right here, I'm going to hold on Alt, and then I'm going to click, and then I'm going to come over to the area I'd like to clean. Alright, that's how easy it is. Yes, it may take some time, so just take your time and do it. Alright guys, I'm not sure if you've seen my previous video. I uploaded a video my new camera. I got the Sony A7 III. You can watch that video. The link should be in the description, so you want to watch that. I didn't talk much about it, but I should be doing a test shoot with that lens, with that camera and lens. I got the 28 to 75 millimeter lens, so I'll be doing some shoot with that pretty soon, so you guys can check that out as well. Alright, good. So I'm just taking my time and just go over the pimples, removing the pimples from the skin. Alright. Alright. So you just have to take your time. I mean, it's not like you're gonna press a button and everything is gonna work out for itself. You have to do everything manually, so just take your time and go through. I promise you, if you rush this process, you're going to miss a lot of things, so it's best to just, take your time and don't rush at all. Alright, that looks good. Good. Alright, so I'm just gonna check the entire face just to ensure that I don't have anything else to remove. So I'm just zooming up. Alright, that looks good. Let's look at the before and after for everything. So before and after. Good. So I'm gonna go down to the model's arm and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna just put it like right here. Then I'm gonna go to the low frequency layer. I'm gonna press M on the keyboard for my mixer brush because that's the shortcut that I use for my mixer brush. It would be B for you. Alright, so I'm just going to do the same thing. Just gonna mix the light area. Alright, see, we have some blemish right there, and the good thing, what I really love about the mixer brush is that it sometimes it will just remove the blemish from the skin by just mixing. That's awesome. But you still have to go and remove the blemish at times because it will just fade it out. So you want to go there and go to the same section and make some adjustments to it. Alright, so I'm gonna come over to this side and do the same thing. I'm in the center now, right here. Perfect. That looks good. Oh, and if you have not seen the behind the scenes for this, you can also check the card up here and you will see the behind the scene for this photo shoot that I did using the Nikon D3400. So you want to check that out as well. Alright, that looks good. So I'm going to go to the high frequency layer. I'm going to press S on the keyboard for the clone stamp. Just going to zoom in a little bit so I can remove all these blemishes using the same technique. Alright, I'm going to undo this. Alright, just going to remove this as well. Alright, that looks good. Don't think there's anything else for me to remove on that side. I'm going to come over in this arm. That looks good as well. Alright, so let's look at a before and after for everything. So, before and after. Good. Alright, so the next step now is to do some dodge and burning. Alright, so I'm just going to collapse that a little bit. So I'm going to come right here for the burn. And I'm going to work with the dark area. The burn is normally called contouring in the makeup world. So I'm going to click on burn. Then I'm going to get my brush, press B on the keyboard for my brush. Ensure that your brush is out, your flow is at 1%. Alright, and you don't want to apply too much. Alright, so right here you can see where the contour was added right here. So I'm just going to highlight it a little bit. Let's look at it before and after, just a little bit. You don't want to add too much to it. Alright, right here is kind of dark as well, so, and then right here, or under here. Let's look at it before and after, just subtle. You don't want to add too much to it. Alright, we're going to come down to the arm. We're going to do the same thing like right here. So basically what I'm following right now is the shadows. Wherever I'm seeing the shadows, that's where I'm applying the contouring or the burn. Alright, so I'm done with that. Let's look at it before and after for everything. Before and after. That's a subtle change. Then I'm going to come here for the dodge. Alright, good. And I'm going to do the same thing. So wherever we have light, we call that highlighting. So we're going to highlight right here. Going to highlight the forehead. Let's look at before and after for that. I'm going to highlight under the eye. I'm going to highlight right here. Get my brush smaller. I'm using the bracket on the keyboard, left and right bracket. It's right next to the P or the enter key. I'm not sure if my keyboard is like your guys as well. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to do the chin. Chin should always have a little highlight there. Let me look at the before and after for that. Before and after. Good. I'm going to come down to the model's arm. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down here. Right here. Sometimes when you already have an highlight on the skin, sometimes you don't really necessarily need to highlight it again. Alright. I'm just going to highlight this dark spot right here a little bit. Let me look at the before and after. Good. So that's good. That's good. Alright, so the next step now is to clean the model's eye. The eyes looks a little bit dark, so we're going to clean it a little bit. So we're going to come down here to where it says Magic Eyes. Click on that. I don't really like the process that was created for cleaning the eyes, because what I think happens is that it actually blur the eye. I don't really like the effect of it. I'm going to show you guys. Alright, this is loading. This is one of the reasons why I don't like using the panel. I rather create my own actions, and you can download this action by using the link in the description as well, because you could follow the same steps that I was doing just now using my actions, because there are times when they take a long time to load because it's a lot of different things in there for you to use. Alright, so I'm going to clean the eyes, and then let me see, where is it? There's an option here to clean. Okay, right here. So it says clean eye whites here. Okay. So we're going to clean the white area. So I'm going to get the brush. I'm going to go to about 11% and then we're going to clean it. Alright, so what it does, it kind of blurs the eye a little bit. Before and after. It looks good, but I don't like when it actually blur the white of the eyes. But I think the reason for that is because once it blurs it, well, whatever technique was used, it will just remove the white. No, not the white, the red from the eyes. But I personally don't like it. These other actions here, options are for darken the different sections of the eyes. Let me see if I can. Well, this one is for changing the eye or makeup. I've never used this before. Let me see what this does. I'm still on the brush. I'm gonna put the brush at about 50% and see. Okay, so it just apply a color because basically change. Okay, so I can change the color of the eye or something like that. Let me see. Okay, so I want the eyes to be blue. I could just do that. It looks okay. I'm gonna use it. I'm just gonna turn down the fill a little bit to about right there. Alright, and then this other option here, it says darken paint with dark brush. Alright, I don't necessarily need to use any of these so I'm not going to even look at it too much. Alright, so the next step now is to color my image, because you know I always color my image, right? There is no option on this for me to color my image. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here to where it says, well, I'm going to come to the color balance right here. You know, I always use color balance. I'm going to click on the color balance right there. And then I'm going to go to shadows, and then I'm going to apply 5%. Alright. Then I'm going to come right here to where it says brightness and contrast. I'm going to add 10. So this is my signature look. Alright, so you guys can come up with your own signature look, but this is my signature look for my images. Alright. Then I'm going to come here where it says color lookup right here. Then I'm going to change this to 37%. Then I'm going to see if I can find something that, you know, looks good for this image. I'm not feeling that one. This one looks okay. This one is good as well. I'm not going to use that one though. I kind of like this one. This is the Fuji F125. Okay, whatever. I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. That looks good. Alright, I think I'm going to make an adjustment. For some reason the hand is not matching the face, so I think I'm going to fix that right now. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to Control Shift Alt E to create a new layer of this image, and then Control J to duplicate the layer, and then I'm going to press Control Alt A to give me camera raw, and you could also go to filter for camera raw as well. And then I'm not sure if you guys can see this on your screen, but the face looks a little bit cold to me, and then the arms, or with this arm, is kind of red, kind of, you know, look realistic. So I want to match that with the face. So I'm just gonna bring up the vibrance up a little bit. Alright, so it's matching now, but this is more than that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a mask. So I'm gonna hold on Alt on the keyboard and then press the mask right here, and then, you know, it's disappeared now, has disappeared, good. And then I'm gonna zoom up a little bit, and then my flow is at 58% with the brush. I'm just gonna brush in the color. So I'm just gonna take my time. You have to be careful though. You have to just take your time and just brush it in the sections where you'd like it to be showing a little bit warm, you know. The arm on this side is also, it looks cold to me as well, so I'm just gonna warm it up a little bit. Alright, good. So now it looks better to me. It's matching. So let's look at the before and after for everything. Before, after, and before and after for the warming of the face. Oh, sorry, before and after. Good. All right. Don't think there's anything else I need to do with this image. It looks good. I think I want to brighten the eyes a little bit. I'm just going to come right here to where it says curves. I'm going to bring the curves up right there. Then I'm going to click on this right here, the layer, and then Control I to invert. And then with my brush still at 58%, I'm just going to brush in what I've just done. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, it looks okay. Let me see. I think it's too much. I'm just gonna bring it down to about 62%, or yeah, about 55% should be good. Alright, good. So that's it for the image. I don't think there's anything else I need to do with this image. I think I have completed the retouch video. So guys, if you have learned anything from this video, you can please go right ahead and click the like. Ensure that you subscribe. And I mean, honestly, there's not much I would do with this panel. If I knew that, you know, I would not actually use most of these options on the panel, I would not have purchased it, right? Because these actions that I've created, the main reason why you create an action, right, is to make your workflow easier, right? So this is why I created my own actions, because I want my workflow to be easier. Most of these options on the panel, I would not actually use it, but I think I want to do a video one day, you know, using all the tools here, but most of my images does not require using most of these tools on this panel, because my workflow is simple, so I really don't need most of these options right here. And when I'm shooting, I ensure that I shoot to match with whatever tools I'm using. So once I come into the software, I can just, you know, make selections and just do my thing. I'm going to create a new layer. Control J to duplicate it. I'm going to use the sharpening option and see what it looks like. And I really don't like when my actions takes a long time to load. I don't like it. Alright, so I just use the sharpening option, and this is what happens. So that's the original image, and that's the sharpen. I also have an action for sharpening as well right here. So yeah, that looks good. I like the sharpening. That looks good. Because if you were looking at the image before, let me remove the sharpening. So you see the image looks soft, and then when I apply the sharpening, it looks better. It looks rich. Yeah. So that's it for the image. I'm just going to crop it right now, because as you know, I'm just going to merge everything. Control Shift E to merge everything, and then I'm going to crop the image. You could press C on your keyboard for the crop tool. And as you guys know, I always crop my image for Instagram. So it's 8 by 10. And then I think I like this crop right here. Let me just use my arrow. Alright, this crop works good for me. I like this. Good. Alright, so that's it for the image. I'm just going to put on my logo on it right now. I'm just going to save it for Instagram. So I'm going to put my logo right here. Get it a little bit bigger. Alright. And then I'm just going to click on my action, because I have an action there to save it to my Dropbox. Then I just save it to my phone. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more retouch video. Every Friday you'll be getting a retouch video, so stay tuned for that. And if there's anything you'd like me to do on YouTube, anything that you'd like to be educated on, you can just tell me and I'll just research it and I'll do it for you guys. Alright? Thanks for watching and have a good one.